Night, night, she gonna bed. Bye-bye. Every day it's a new test. I just keep chasing these chicks. Living life with no regrets. Living life with no regrets.
Okay, so...
Side note.
Oh.
Okay, we're on the same page. Anywho.
I would never.
Anywho, how are you doing today there?
It's just fun to joke
Hey,
about.
so they're a founder of SledSend. How are you doing today?
I'm super great, man. It's been a long day, but super thrilled to be running this podcast with you boys. It's turned out great. First guest on the show.
Hell yeah, I'm blessed to be here.
Yeah, this is episode, Jeff, what is this now? This will be episode 4? Yeah. Yeah, so you guys tuning in on, whether you're watching this on YouTube right now, cheers, Tom.
Yeah.
or listening in on podcast, Spotify, whichever platform you're on. Yeah, this is episode 4. So the last couple episodes, if you guys hadn't watched, number one, you should go back to those before you come into this one and watch this one. But we did a little interview with Tom, and the other episode was an interview with Cody, and we brought them both back for this next episode. Honestly, this episode doesn't really have a specific tone or a specific flow. We just wanted to talk about some stories and get into some, just let the beer talk for us and talk about some fucked up shit and see where we go.
The beer is definitely talking a little bit. We've been here buzzing for a little while.
Yeah, we're kind of getting more into our natural habitat of just being dumbasses, so it's great.
Totally, 100%. So, yeah, we'll just let this fucking flow off the top and.
So what I was thinking here is we had that story of halfway with you and Thomas earlier on episode 2.
Yep.
I think that definitely needs to be brought back up for just a little bit.
Okay.
Like I said in my episode, I suppose I'm still mad at Tom to this day that he left me as a lone kitty out there all alone. So
yeah. So just before we go into that, side note for the viewers and the listeners: out of our entire riding group, I ride Polaris, and we have the 2 kitty cat boys here, right? So 2 against 1.
You know us, we like to bleed green.
Oh, got any more taglines?
I think that sounds as good as "This is our passion, share it."
Yeah. For any Arctic Cat guys out there, anybody who works for Cat, you should probably change the slogan for that. It sounds like you're walking into a gay bar or something. But, I'm sorry, I love you, Arctic Cat, but you guys got to change that up.
Well, what about the gays? Do you love them too? Don't want to offend them.
No, they're great. I mean, I'm sure they're just great people. But what I'm saying is, it's just kind of, Polaris the way out. Whatever Yamaha is. Hell, Yamaha's probably something stupid.
Well, I mean, I don't know how stupid they are. I mean, they are the forefront with the whole body style. Didn't Arctic Cat steal everything from Yamaha?
Hold on. If you want to get into stealing stuff, you look at like early 90s Polaris and early 90s Cats, and you guys got the trailing arm suspensions. You guys got everything going on. You guys didn't have horsepower or reliability back then. Still don't have reliability. But no, talking about stealing stuff. Independent front suspension, all that crap, that came from Cat. That's all I'm going to say. Now, Polaris does a damn good job of everything they do now. I mean, I hop on a Polaris and I'm like, dang, this feels nice. This feels at home. But
it only feels nice for about 1,500 miles.
Yeah.
It's the thing.
And like I said, I'm a little on the cheap side, so I got to make my sleds last.
Yeah, because how many miles were you on the old one before you got this one?
4. And
4,000.
Also,
God,
I didn't talk about
damn.
the M7. Some of you may not believe it almost has 10,000 miles on it. So that's why we run Cat. It has some reliability to it.
God damn. Well,
The most miles I've ever seen on an Arctic Cat was probably about 6,000 miles. So that is very impressive, Tom. I guess that's why we call you Tom Cat.
Tom Cat.
Yeah.
Tom Kitty.
Little
Tom Kitten.
Well, we came up with Tom Kitten there last winter.
Yeah,
but
we did.
I think he's worked up to Tom Kitty this year, but he's not Tom Cat yet.
Oh, boy.
What's your nickname?
I don't know. I'm not even sure if I got a nickname yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cody needs.
Well, everybody calls me Hoffy. That's about
Hoffy.
it. That's pretty much about it. But I don't have no cool ride name. But I think you can call me Hoffy. I think that'll work.
Speaking of names, do you boys have names for your sleds?
Yes.
Because you just got a new one.
My old sled is the Ditch Panther. It is the Ditch Panther. and I've had that name for like 3 years now, but I haven't come up with a new one yet.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna have anything cool like Chris Brandt, like Princess Slayer, or nothing like that.
Well, hey, I mean, you never know. Once you put that new wrap that we just ordered on yours,
it's gonna have to be something original. By original, I mean like coming straight from the heart of me. So it's just gonna be stupid.
well, we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Cody?
No, I yet to really come up with a name with my sled, but like one thing I kept calling it every time I'd climb a hill is King Kitty.
King Kitty.
I don't know what that came up with, but I kind of like King Kitty.
I like that too. It's pretty good.
You know, Arctic Cat already has one of those, a King Cat, right?
King
I
Cat.
know, but I like King Kitty.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not as cool as a cat yet, but it's like a kitty.
It almost sounds like Kincaid. And
that's totally okay.
Yeah, that is totally okay, but we don't like to get into that topic. That's a little sad.
That is a very sensitive subject.
It's a little heart-wrenching. Seriously.
Very sensitive subject.
Well, speaking of that opens up a really good topic. So a couple of weeks ago, I sent you guys a message in regards to taking an Avalanche training course.
Yes.
Are you guys going to sign up for that, you think? Or
I think it's in our best interest to do that, for sure. Starting to ride a lot more, and we're getting into scenarios like last year.
Jeff just hit his fucking head on
Jeff, what are you doing under there?
Going to pay a little visit to Tom Cody?
Anyways.
Got a concussion in the process.
But back to that, like, I never used to worry about avalanches ever. I mean, I used to ride a lot, like, with younger. I mean, nothing like I do now. And never really heard of people riding in avalanche areas, I should say, yes. But seeing avalanches, being in them, I know my dad's seen avalanches. I don't know if he's been in one. And back then, people just weren't really worried about them like they are now. But I watched Cody last year side-hilling up a cut bank on a road, and he was about 40, 50 feet up, and the whole thing sloughed off. And it wasn't an avalanche, but you got to
Wait, when was this?
It's something that gets your mind racing, because I can tell you what, that little slough that it was, being 40, 50 foot up above the main road, and that all just cutting off, that'll get a guy's heart racing, because I think my nerves are out the roof that whole entire time, and that was something that wasn't necessarily actually dangerous, or like, could I have gotten really harmed? I don't think so, but it still makes a guy think, and it's a very scary thing to think about, really.
Sure.
Yeah, well, I was riding behind him. I didn't actually see it happen.
Where was this?
This was when we were at Kobe's cabin up there.
Yeah.
So
At Anthony Lakes?
Yeah,
that was one of the trips I didn't go with
This
you
was
guys.
right off one of the main roads, actually. It's just they got a shitload of snow dumped on them. Mm-hmm. So conditions were just perfect for something to slough off.
Side note, that was the best ride of the year, and I ended up totaling a brand new Alpha that trip. So
that's right.
Your dad's Alpha, right?
Yeah, that's a whole nother story. But anyways, yeah, no, I was riding up the road behind him like 30, 40 seconds probably.
Thank you, sir.
And remember getting up there, and Caden's on a snow bike pointing at that, and I look over, and we're all just kind of like, oh, shit. Like, they're real. They're real. You got to watch out for them. And we have our Avy bags on. I don't have a beacon. I need to get a beacon.
Yeah.
But it just...
You had to borrow one from somebody when we went to Montana.
Yep. All those guys up there strictly ride with beacons, Avy bags, all that stuff, which is good for them. We're just Eastern Oregon guys, and a lot of us just never really thought about it.
Well, and so here's the biggest thing that goes through my mind, right? Because, last year was the first year that, I know you guys have all been riding and doing your thing and with other guys and stuff, but last year was the first time where, like, we really kind of committed to riding together, or I was a part of your group, or however you want to dice that up, right? So the biggest thing that goes through my mind is, number one, I want to take that course, obviously, just for myself, but the reasoning as to why I want to encourage or influence for you guys to do it is this is a scenario that goes through my head, right? So let's say I pay and I go do the 3 days of the training, right? The first day is like avalanche rescue, and then the next 2 days are like avalanche awareness, I think, and how to read the snow and all that kind of stuff. So what happens when we're all halfway ripping and an avalanche goes and I'm fucking buried? And I'm the only one that has avalanche knowledge about how to find somebody, and you guys don't.
Well, I mean, it's that right there, and also if somebody else gets buried and you're still the only one with the knowledge,
Then you just
and
have one person looking.
You have one person looking
Wasting
and knowing
time.
how to do it, and then it's going to be a waste of time. There's no doubt about that at all.
Right.
So, no, it makes sense, and it's something I should definitely look into doing, and I need to.
Well, and here's another piece too. Like, I don't know how many spots are left that weekend or whatever, but my intention. So this is a side note that I'm not going to get into, but I've acquired a property over in Baker City, and we can stay over there the whole fucking weekend while we go and do that at no cost to you guys.
I'm glad you shared this. That opens up a lot of
So,
possibilities.
well, we can talk about that off filming because that's a separate business and a whole other stuff.
Yeah,
but
totally.
I like want to encourage. Obviously, I can't make you guys, but like it's just one of those things where, you know, I look at it as like I want to continue to ride harder, ride in new areas, and push each other. And the reality of it is like we're gonna reach a point where we're just in shit like that often.
Well, and you can't even really get into shit like that without that kind of training, because that is what holds you back and like makes you hesitant on getting into that, because you don't know how it's going to react. You don't know how to react when it does happen, right? Right.
Well, and then you're in a mental state, and that adrenaline is flowing. Like your buddy is under there, you're freaking the fuck out, like, and you just like you lose motor skills or like, you know, clear thought. And so especially if you have like no idea and what the fuck to do, it's just important. And another thing for me too, which this also kind of pairs with the importance of doing the clinics, right? And if we're taking clients out and the liability of that, of like getting some sort of backcountry EMT training too, right? Like what if one of us or fucking T-Map sends it off of a fucking cliff and goes into a tree and breaks his fucking leg or something, right? Like
it's going to be T-Map
being able to
sending it off a cliff, or it's going to be me sending it into a tree. I can promise that. It's going to be one of the kitty cat riders that rock up. It's
We're also forgetting one of them, Kobe Doherty. That's gonna be you also.
Yep.
He's
He's
actually
a future guest on here.
Kobe wouldn't jump it off a cliff. He'd try to backflip off a cliff, but that's a whole nother topic. No, but the whole are we gonna do it or not? I think it just boils down to we need to. Yeah, seriously, we need to.
It's not that like we want to, and obviously we want to. It's just something that everybody needs to. I mean, as like a viewer, like your viewers, like it's something that needs to happen. There's no doubt about that.
And it's also going to be fun while you're there. You're going to enjoy learning.
You're riding
that
on
stuff.
the sled.
Yeah,
you're with your buddies.
You're with people who have knowledge. You're meeting new people. All that stuff. It's going to be a good experience.
Yeah,
so just
it's worth it.
Do it. I think I'm gonna. I already said I was
save your
going
best friend's life one day. You never know.
I mean, dude, and you break it down like that, save your best friend's life, and it only cost you $500 for 3 days. Like, sure, granted, it's $500.
It's $500 for something to have knowledge of the rest of your life.
Well, and I'll say this: the three of us sitting here, we ride our whole lives. It will come in handy one day. Maybe someone's not buried, but reading you can prevent seeing an avalanche. You get how to tell the snow, how to read that, the conditions. That no matter what, it will benefit all of us. Really, it will. Yeah. It will, no matter what.
Yeah. It's important.
Yeah, you can't be thinking about the money when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And
well, you can't put a price on that.
Right.
No,
Saving somebody or something.
You can't put a price on personal well-being. So.
Yeah. So that's we'll end that conversation there. Let's get back to the funnier, lighthearted stuff. But
you know what? I'll tell you when we're gonna end that conversation. You know, when this guy, old Tom over here, brought up the fact that he totaled a brand new Alpha cat on that ride.
Yeah, we can talk to that. Dude, we didn't even talk about the beginning when you were talking about halfway, and then we just went off onto something else. But go to totaling the
that'll happen
Alpha.
every once in a while.
hold on. Let me sum this up for you. So we were staying at a buddy's cabin up there, and we rode, what is it, like 15 miles to the cabin, 15, 20. I'm not sure. I'm sure I'm wrong. But it was probably about 13,
this area 14 very miles.
Well.
Yeah, it was about 13, 14 miles to the cabin. But the ride
where
that happened, I can tell you where he totaled that Alpha.
We were a long ways back in there. But I'll just kind of set the scenery here. Dumping snow. Mm-hmm. Absolutely dumping snow for I don't know how long. And while we're riding in there, it's kind of overcast, cloudy, or whatever. But farther we're riding back in towards the cabin, we're like, holy crap, this is serious snow. Kobe's dad was with us. Ton of people were, and they're like, we haven't seen snow like this for the 80s. They were all excited. Everybody's all excited. We get going down the road finally because there were some of the guys' wives, kids, whatever.
Sure.
And so they stayed at the cabin. It was all fun. We get going down the road, and holy crap, it was deep. It was deep. And we're just riding the main highway, which I've been up there a ton in the summertime when I was little, just spending time up there.
Yeah,
I know
it's a paved road too, and that's what you ride on because they do nothing during the winter. They don't plow it, keep it open, nothing. And it was some deep snow, and that was also the same trip that I got stuck in that little slide right there.
Yep. But, I mean, it was so high, it was above all the road signs. Now, there was one point, there's also a big scratch down my dad's belly pan because I was snorkeling through, on the road, I was going pretty fast. Kind of nicked the top of that road sign on that post.
Oh, yeah.
And it made a pretty big gouge on that, too. So that was number one. And I checked the track out because I hit that damn thing pretty hard. But
No, he hit it real hard.
oh, my God. And I remember someone saying, hey, what dumbass hit that road sign? I'm like, what fucking dumbass was that? And no, I knew it was me. But we get out there and we get to this other cabin after we've been riding all day, and we're like, shoot, we're low on gas, and we're like, you know what? Let's just go farther. Everybody's got spare gas. I actually ended up running out of gas on the way back.
I actually never even brought spare fuel with me that trip, and I made it back without getting any extra spare fuel, and that blew everybody's mind.
Yeah.
So Arctic Hat.
Just not riding hard enough.
That.
Yeah,
No,
he
you
just
did.
wasn't riding hard enough.
Oh,
But
yeah, that was totally it.
anyways, we eat lunch, and pretty soon the sun's out, and it's a bluebird day. We're climbing all the hills. We're doing everything, and it is deep. I mean, deep.
It was
and
very deep that day.
But it was it wasn't too deep where it wasn't enjoyable. Like last year, I rode the deepest snow I ever have, and I think it was 7 feet of bottomless powder. And me and a good buddy, we skipped work. He skipped work. And, well, it was Blake.
Okay.
And, that's a whole nother story. But it was so deep that day when I was with Blake that I think we rode like 14 miles in 6 hours.
Jesus.
No, it wasn't even that.
No,
It was less. And I burned through a half a tank. We got stuck so much. It was, I mean, we were getting stuck I got stuck going downhill twice.
Nice.
Just putting it that way. And I'm riding an Alpha.
Yeah.
A 3-inch track, everything. And it was just incredible. But back to the main story. Anyways, we're like, screw it. Let's just go farther on down. We get going. We're having so much fun. I mean, we got all the dads with us that are older. They're having fun. Everybody's just great mood.
Yeah.
And I remember Cliff Doherty, Kobe's dad, saying, hey, watch those south-facing slopes. I didn't really think of anything
because
of
we're
it.
losing elevation.
Right.
on
We
our
started
way
losing
back.
elevation on the way back, and we got around one side, or took a couple other roads, and it was just less snow there. Well, anyways, I'm like, screw it. I'm the second one. I was the second from the leader. And I'm going, and there's the south-facing slope, so I'm side-hilling on the right. Whatever. I hit a stump. And that isn't what fucked me up. So I hit a stump, and I get bucked off. And as I'm going down like this. My sleds, I kind of fall off this way because I kind of fall off to the left. And my sled's going straight. And as my head is going into the snow, I see my sled kind of going down towards the road, airborne. It's in the air because I was going fast. Sled's airborne. And I see the left ski hook. And so there's a road, little bar ditch, and then the hill. And it hooked, or the left ski hooked that ditch. And when it hooked, it flipped my sled completely around. And when I get up, I remember looking at it, and I'm like, oh, fuck, because that left ski was faced completely backwards. So I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm thinking to myself, God damn it, Thomas. I convinced.
Not again.
Yeah, shit. I mean, I should have known it's going to happen. But I convinced my dad to let me ride that sled.
Yeah.
Because it was brand new. He wasn't really riding very much that year. And I convinced him to let me ride that sled. And I said, if I break it, I'll pay for it, which I ended up doing. But anyways, I get up to it, and I'm like, oh, shit. But I broke, let's see, completely blew out the air. I mean, gone. Tie rod, everything. Shock was bent, so those are Fox shocks. Those aren't Jeep. Let's see. When I did that, a piece of the A-arm got pushed back through that side panel into the clutch. messed up the clutch too. So it was a good chunk of change that I did there. Anyways, to get it out, we just did the old trick. I've heard it before. My dad's told me about it. We ended up doing it. I just had some mule tape I was carrying in the pack, and we just cut down little jack pine, like 4 or 5 feet, strung it across the skis, tied it up. Jimmy rigged up the shock. Well, it was like 40 miles back to the cabin.
Oh my god!
Easy. 40 miles.
And it was already late. Sun was starting to go down.
It was
so I'm
sunset at that point.
Yeah, it was sunset, and so it was a couple hours getting back. I don't remember what time I got, but every time, so I had to lean on the right, and every time I didn't, my left ski would hook, flip out sideways, and I'd just get sucked into the left. Mm-hmm. And it was fun. Ended up running out of gas too, which if you ever run out of gas, don't ever let your sled run out of gas, because in those sleds, there's 3 points where that fuel comes out of that tank. All 3 points have to be covered, or else it doesn't pump that fuel in. So you can't just add like 1 gallon. You have to add like 5 for it to start and then run. So don't ever let your sled completely run out of fuel, because you're going to have at least like 5 gallons to get it back running. Because I dumped my 2 extra in there and it wouldn't start. We were yanking on it for like 30 minutes, checking spark plugs, everything. Fuck. And so I got a ride back to the cabin, and Kobe's dad, very knowledgeable with sleds, used to be a Polaris mechanic. He's like, oh, well, you got to do this and this. So there was extra gas at the cabin, so I got lucky there. But that was that ride story.
Well, to that story, when Thomas was second behind the leader when that happened, I was third. So therefore, I was right behind Thomas. So Thomas got out of my sight around a few corners, and I come around this corner, and there's a wall of snow dust. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Locked up the brakes right there. Didn't know what was going on. Come around the corner, the snow dust settles. There's Thomas's sled facing me, and Thomas laying on the other side of the road. And I instantly knew something bad happened, because I seen his tracks go up on the hill, and they disappeared after a stump. And that was it. So I pull up to Thomas, make sure he's all right. He's like, no, the sled's not all right, but I'm all right. And I'm like, it looked fine. And after we looked at it, that's when we realized that it was pretty much totaled. Yeah, it was a good time. Oh my God. But it was coming around us. I mean, we were all scooting back to get back to the cabin for sure. And we were all going there fairly quick, and coming around that corner and seeing a wall of snow dust and no Thomas, and then all of a sudden Thomas and the sled backwards. It's probably one of the funniest rides I've ever been on.
Yeah, I'm sure Tom thought it was hilarious.
Oh, he thought it was a great time. Especially when we were all back at the cabin warming up.
Oh, yeah.
And he was back there with no fuel.
Well, and the whole time they're giving me crap because it's an Arctic Cat. And I'm like, you guys, this had nothing to do with Arctic Cat or Polaris. So I said, hell, if it was Polaris, wouldn't even have made it that far. It would have fucking blown up by then. But no, hell, I'm just giving you guys shit. No, it's all fun. We always give each other shit about what we ride. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like I would ride them all. Doesn't. Like I almost bought a Polaris this year. I don't give a shit. Like whatever I want to ride, I'll do.
I just almost bought myself a Polaris this year as well. But I do like my Arctic Cat. Yeah. So it just comes down to your preference.
Dude, it's the same with fucking trucks, right?
Oh,
like you could talk as much shit about Dodges, Fords, whatever.
Yeah.
They're all great and they're all shit. It's the same thing. They're all great.
They're all great and they're all shit.
Yeah,
that's
no, seriously.
No, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yep. No, that's good. Good stories. Anything else come to mind for another story?
Oh, I'm sure I got a few.
Oh, there's lots of stories. Yeah. There's plenty of stories.
There's this big poker run every year outside of Enterprise, so you park at the snow park up there. Or I guess it's outside of Joseph.
This is a story worth listening to. I can promise you guys that.
And, God, what's that snow park? I want to say Catherine Cook, but it's obviously not. That's outside of La Graham. Anyways, big poker run. This
is the one that we went to?
Yes. How many stops is there?
For 4 or 5?
Yeah, for the viewers who don't know what a poker run is, it's just a huge bunch of people. This is a very large poker run, by the way. There's stops. It's a big trail ride. You stop. You have your poker cards. I don't go to play poker. I just go to play my hand or whatever. I think I buy one. I never play. And there's a fire at every stop. There's food. There will be rental sleds, the demo sleds people try out. Anyways, well, at the end, there's the very last stop's at the 200 hill. And, of course, everybody's drinking or whatever, and everybody's going up the hill. Anyways, it's a ton of fun. And, last year, I was following my buddies that are from up there. Oh, yeah.
Adams.
That was Adams.
Was
it was in
Adams.
it was
That
in
was a good
T-shirt
time.
weather and the aviators. Actually, not even T-shirt. Didn't have a T-shirt on in that picture. But
Sorry to throw you off topic.
no,
The
no.
poker run.
By the way, if you guys ever look up Thomas Mabbott, that is definitely his profile picture of him shirtless on top of Mount Adams.
yes, it's a great time and a great view. Let me tell you. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding.
We're gonna have to flash it on the screen.
Yeah, we
I'll
might.
send
we
it
might.
to you.
No.
All right, so the poker run, you got the fires, you got the
Yep,
food, you got
yep.
some drinks.
Well, I was following
At
my
each
buddy Trent and Justin. They're from up there. A couple really good buddies of mine. Fantastic riders. They're great. Ton of fun. Very knowledgeable, too. And they know all the little secret spots off the roads, little hill climbs, you name it, all this stuff. So I have a bad idea of following Trent. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I keep up with Trent. Hell no. Trent can rock a sled. And anyways, it's me, Trent, Kobe.
Where you dive off the one side.
Yeah,
At the
I
bottom.
dive off a pretty damn little steep.
That's where you and I sat. We were eating jerky and just playing around, waiting on them, trying to get on the radio. And they were
we tried forever to get them on the radio. And
Just
we-
sitting
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and we all have the backcountry radios, the
Yeah.
BCAs.
Yeah.
But so I follow Trent down, and I'll describe it for the viewers. It's just off the road, super, super steep bank, and just through some trees. It's like a little narrow slit in the trees where you got to ride down.
It's kind of like the Bunny Hill at a ski resort.
Yeah, 100%. It's just like the bunny hill. Just whoop, whoop, back down, back up.
That's where you were?
It was for the kids.
Yes. But I follow him down through these trees, and it's just kind of a little chute almost. I shouldn't even say a chute because it's not a chute, but it's just opening the trees. You got to go down, and there's no flat spot down there. You have to you have to just flip around in this little opening, and you have zero momentum. I mean, it's for a turbo sled basically, or whatever. A very, very good rider. Anyways, I'm following Trent. He goes around, hooks left, goes straight back up the hill, barely makes it out. So I have to poach it. I have to follow in his track.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can do this. Well, I get going up, wide open. I'm giving the old 13 cat just all she's got. And I just run her right up a tree because it was steep. So I get going up this little jack pine a little ways. Anyways, I'm stuck. Sled's facing straight up. So, oh, yeah, no, this is easy. So I just flip it over. Well, I flip it down on its side. I didn't roll it completely over yet. It just kind of how it turned out. So I grab the uphill ski, which just turns out to be the left one, and give her a yank. Well, my ski came up to me, and my handlebars didn't. So I thought to myself, that's not right. So I get on the radio, and I'm explaining to everybody. I'm like, Trent, got a copy? Go ahead. My ski's fucked. I'm just kind of pissed off at this point.
Sure.
Whatever. I'm like, whatever. I didn't get too technical with him. Like, well, my ski's fucked. What do you mean? My ski moved and my handlebars didn't.
No, see, so that was a point. That was a point. Tyler and I were sitting there, and we heard you guys over the radio, and that's when I heard my handlebars don't go the same way my skis do. Yeah. And that's when we stopped, and that's when we started eating jerky, because we're like, we're not going down that shithole. We're not going to try to go down there because there's already 4 other guys down there in that shithole with you. But that is the only thing I heard over the radio is, hey, my handlebars are not going the same way as my skis.
This is what we were doing.
Yeah.
Wow,
no.
you were doing this.
Oh, yeah.
We were doing this.
We were sitting there. We were sitting there playing on the side hill the whole time. Oh,
we
yeah.
were eating. No, it was the fucking. We were eating taquitos and tapatio.
Oh,
or
that's what it
something.
was. Yeah, no, it was the taquitos and tapatio. Oh, dude, that shit slapped. There's no doubt about that.
Let the listeners hear some of that.
Speedworks.
That right there is
Oh,
the
yeah.
Speedworks Stage 2 kit. I'll tell you what, them kitty cat riders, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't even know what can I have on the 13. It's some hillbilly fab or something. It doesn't even have a logo on it, and it sounds a little weird. Anyway, it sounds
Unlike
terrible. It
any
sounds
other sled.
terrible. Yeah, it's very, very high pitched.
You know when T-Mab is coming up the
Yeah.
hill because it sounds like no other sled out there because that is
Yeah.
some hillbilly fuckery right there.
It sounds like a little girl screaming. So I'm on the radio, back to the store. I'm on the radio. I'm like, My ski turns left, my handlebars don't. I don't know, whatever, something. Trent goes, oh, that's fine. That happened to me last weekend. So like, what the fuck?
This is normal.
And I get some snow on buried or whatever, and I'm yanking on the ski back and forth, up and down, left or right. And I'm like, no, oh no, she's fucked. And so I'm like, Trent, you're gonna have to come down here. So he comes down and he parks underneath me and he walks up to me and Trent doesn't even say anything to me. He gets on his radio and he goes, Tom wonked his shit. I'm like, oh God, here we go. Well, what I did was I just snapped a tie rod.
Sure.
For anybody out there who's done that, and you're a ways back in a sticky situation, you're like, oh yeah, no, that's no fun.
Yeah.
So we get the sled turned around. We had to just go through all these little jack pines. Well, we found this old abandoned little log road downhill a long ways, and it's steep. Lots and lots of little trees up towards the top, big trees, whatever. We get down there, and the whole time my sled just wants to turn left, so it ain't working out too well. And finally, we get to this spot where we played around, so side hilling around the whole time, just taking it slow. And the only reason we got out was because there was that old road down there. It was nice. And so we get up to a spot, opening in the trees or whatever, and Kobe's packing a trail for me or whatever. And Trent was doing that too. Well, when I broke it broke the steering box also. So my right ski was facing right, and my left ski was facing left, but it'd turn all sorts of directions, whatever. It was just snapped. And so side hilling on the right wasn't really an option either. And so I think I tried 5, 6, 7 times side hilling up that. No, it wasn't working. My sled would throw me all over the place. So finally, they were trying to pack down another spot for me, and I said, fuck it, and I went full pin. And I knew I had to go.
Of course you did.
Right, of course I did. Well, and I had to go full pin because if my skis touched, I was done. I'd lose all momentum, anything. So I ended up wheeling out of this thing. I thought I was Chris Brandt for a little bit. It was pretty cool. Nice. And just up through the trees, over a log, whatever. I was like, oh, fuck. And I get up to the top, and I'm like, fuck yeah. And everybody's like, that dumb son of a bitch. God. Anyways, I get just piddling down the trail just a little bit back to the poker, and we get to the last stop, and there's like 50, 60 people there. And I remember rolling in, and my skis are facing 2 different directions. Oh, everybody's like, what the hell you do? So I had to tell the story a million times.
Yeah, because your dad and mom were there, too.
Yeah, my mom and dad were there. Yeah. And my dad just looks at me, and he's like, oh, fuck, yeah, well, that's my son. And for the viewers out there, my dad is a very, very intelligent guy.
Extremely intelligent.
Seriously, one of the smartest guys I know. Yes. And I don't mean that just because he's my dad. IQ level off the charts. And I got none of his brains. None. 0.
I will back Thomas up on that one. 0 of his dad's brains. His dad is a very intelligent guy. Yeah. Instantly, his disappointment seeing Tom roll up with one ski facing the other way from his handlebars was probably the best moment ever.
Oh, yeah. It's always a good time when you're snowmobiling. Breaking shit. It's just another story. That's how you have to look at it. It's just another good story that you're never going to forget. And that's another thing about snowmobiling. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing else like
I think it was that trip that got your dad convinced to order an Alpha.
That's right.
That
you
is
ordered
that trip.
Alpha.
No, that is that trip that got his dad convinced to order an Alpha.
Hadn't he already had one ordered?
No, that's right.
Yeah, because he went and looked at it already.
He went and looked at it, and he already had one.
Did he ride yours?
Oh, that's what he was waiting for. No, he seen the whole hill climb up 200 hill there, and I was up against like
I have that recorded.
other turboed Arcticats and other turboed Polarises and like Skidoos and stuff. And my sled walked all of them halfway up the hill till the very top. Obviously, any turboed sled's gonna beat naturally aspirated sled, but that's impressive for a snowmobile, really.
Totally.
Yeah.
Dude, it's been... Go ahead.
Everybody's just looking at me like, what else you got? And I'm like, fuck. We got more stories, but shit.
Well, and then you fucking pulled up, they assessed the situation with your sled, and then you walked over to one of your buddies who had a turbo Skidoo, and you're like, hey, can I ride that?
Yeah, he had the 850 turbo. And riding one of those newer Ski-Doos, they ride completely different than the Cat or Polaris. And it's a learning curve. It's weird.
Yeah.
I was not used to it, so I just go.
I've never been. I'm still not used to it at all whatsoever.
Oh yeah.
I jumped on some guy's Ski-Doo last year, and I don't know, 3 minutes maybe, and I was like, no, give me my fucking sled back.
Yeah,
you're too up front on it for me.
Yeah, yep. You're like
so
sitting
weird.
on top of the skis almost, and I'm not saying it's bad. The people who ride them and are used to them love them.
You can get used to it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it was just weird.
I like having something out in front of me is a feeling. I'm not used to Ski-Doo enough, I guess. So I'm used to what I have, but getting on one of them, just how they tip over and how you feel way up in front of their nose on them, it just isn't right for me, which that feels like a dirt bike. So it's actually comfortable if you've ridden dirt bikes. But I'm just so used to the Arctic Cat or Polaris standard of where you got a whole hood out in front of you pretty much. You're not just sitting up on the bumper.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. But there still is a big difference because I rode your Alpha for a little bit up Catherine Creek for a minute.
But you're used to your carbon fiber sled that weighs nothing, and you get on an Arctic
Oh,
Cat.
yeah.
It's gonna feel like
you
a
want to
brick.
talk about feeling weird. I rode your sled just a little bit, and it was amazing. I just kept overriding the thing, so I'm used to my Cat, and yours is like 100 pounds lighter.
Oh, dude, way like 200-pound lighter.
I don't know about 200. You're stretching
so
it.
much lighter.
Yeah, no, about
it feels
200.
so much. Well,
I don't
just
even
for
know
what
the
I'm used to
numbers.
it.
Yeah,
from
and
stock, but
I just remember just taking it off a little jump, and the back end comes up because you got that carbon fiber skid, you got lightweight everything, and just the power of that sled, you name it, and it was just so weird. But I would love getting used to that because you're so light.
Well, and that's the thing too. You know, spend a couple trips on that, and then to go to anything else, it's really fucking hard.
You're a little spoiled.
Well, that's the thing. Now I'm in a situation where, like, you know, I'll keep riding this one for a few more seasons, but then it's like, how do you ever go back to not? So then you get in a situation of like, every time you get a new sled, are you going to have to continue to do that?
You're going to get the new sled, and you most likely have to continue that because the sled that you have is its own breed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unreal. I mean, I'd hit snowdrifts in that thing when I rode it, when we switched.
Yeah.
And the whole thing would hop up and catch air over my sled. And I'm like, what the fuck is this thing? Like, what's going on here?
It's a
and
big
I'd
difference.
go to like, kind of like a side hill up a little bit. And
And you're over. You're just
over because you're not feeling what you're pulling over at all. And I wasn't used to that yet. I'm not saying my sled's super heavy because it's not. No. But compared to yours,
it's a drastic difference.
Oh my! I felt like I never rode a day in my life.
Yeah, back to day one to learn how to ride a sled.
Oh, it was terrible. I was like, this is the best thing, but the worst thing at the same time.
Yeah. I kind of went off the deep end with that sled, but also at the same time, like, I've kind of put myself in a position with everything that I put into the sled, all the gear, like, it's all, you know, pretty good stuff.
You're set up to potentially do really good.
Well, see, and that's the thing is that, like, I've eliminated every possibility for anything to hold me back.
Right.
The only single thing that is going to hold me back from accomplishing or achieving anything that we're trying to do is me. Yep. I've got the greatest gear, all the parts on the sled. Like, there's absolutely nothing that is going to hold me back other than me. So I've completely eliminated any of those factors, and it's 100% just entirely like, can you accomplish this with your skill set and your strengths, Tyler?
Yep.
And your confidence. And that's it. And so that is that is a bonus because then I've eliminated so many things that it just makes me able to go that much faster to accomplish those things because I only have one thing to work on, and it's me. But then also, like, I can't blame anything on the sled or the gear.
Sucks,
then I have to take the responsibility of, like,
you're
that's on me.
taking full responsibility of what happened out there. Like, hey, what'd you do over here or doing this? Oh, well, the sled, it was nothing to do with the sled.
100%. Entirely on me.
That sled's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Well, and the crazy thing is
I'm a little bit jealous.
I'm a lot of bit jealous.
The crazy thing is I haven't even touched power, right?
No.
I've touched everything else,
You have
but
that
I haven't even
titanium
touched.
can on there.
That's it.
Yeah.
But
That's
the
all.
thing is how light it is. That thing felt like it was way more zippy than when I hopped on mine.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Just
and
because of the
you
weight
want-
difference.
You want lightweight over horsepower. It's better
yeah.
to just lighten up as much of that sled as you can instead of just bolting on whatever. Now,
Right. Could you imagine putting a turbo on that thing, though?
I don't know how you could ride that seriously. Like Chris Barant did that, and he said it was just too much.
Yeah.
Because you're just straight over backwards, or it's just, I don't know. And from riding that stock 850, putting a turbo on that, I mean, it'd be the most fun I've ever had, but at the same time, it'd be the biggest handful I've ever had.
Sure. Right.
That's what I'm scared about this next coming season, is how overboard did I go with getting a supercharged kit, which is an instant boost, let alone even a turbo kit. That is it's going to be a lot to handle.
I mean, you're going to go back to
It's gonna
day
be a lot
one of
handle.
learning how to
Oh
ride a
yeah,
sled too, right?
there's no doubt about that. But I'm telling you right now, I will. I mean, it's going to be holding onto the handlebars and pinning that fucker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Cody, I may have to throw a leg over it, but I'm just gonna go straight up a hill and straight down. That is all.
The famous last words of
one
T-Ab.
time.
That's all. If that's all Team Ab does, I will let him ride my sled.
And if at the top there's a cornice, I'll probably have to jump off that if there's enough snow. But no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. But
we're not going to trust Team Ab this year.
yeah, I have all the excuses out of me from not going. Like, Tom, why aren't you going? Well, you got a new. Oh, I do have an excuse. No, I don't. I don't have a sled that's gonna break down on me. Hopefully, yet this year.
And if it does, it'll only be due to you fucking it up in the first place.
Hopefully.
So that'll
Which
be good.
makes
Are
the
you
most
getting
sense.
a new truck?
Yes, I got to get
okay.
that too. Still
Okay.
haven't gotten that.
What are you
so.
gonna get? Do you think, or do you
It's
know
okay.
yet? Or?
He'll carpool with me. It's all right.
Oh no, it's gonna be a Ford. And I've been looking, so I kind of screwed myself 2 years ago. I was looking at pickups, whatnot, and that was the time to buy. I mean, the pickup that I was looking at then was 34,000, whatever. Now it's 60,
Yeah, sure.
and I'm like, son of a bitch. I guess that's what happens when you wait. And same with snowmobiles.
Yeah.
All used sleds are going up if you can find them, and brand new sleds, snow check if you're lucky if you did that. But no, I got to get a new pickup too. So we'll see.
And you're getting new gear this year too?
Yep, I got to get all new gear. All new gear.
What are you gonna go with? You think?
I have no idea. I want to get something that can match my sled. So no brand out there. So
Has like a gold.
Climb, Tobe, all you guys, if you're watching, white and gold, please. And I know there'd be a decent amount of people ordering onesies in white and gold. But I just want something white. And if I can't do that, I'll get something in black.
Well, I'm sure that there's probably brands that are not snowmobile specific. If you get into snowboarding and skiing brands, you could probably find something. Probably in the girl section, but you can still find something.
I can tell you, if getting into a onesie is probably the best decision I ever did last year.
Oh, hands down.
Oh, hands down.
The only downside, I
I
think-
got the lightweight version, so you
Just
get
a
to
shell.
choose. You get to choose.
Right, and that's what I'd get
how
for
much you need
spring
later.
riding.
Yep.
Well, that's the thing, right? And I was just going to mention that if you're doing the mono suit, but then you're doing spring riding, it's a little difficult to fucking, take off your shirt.
See, I will admit, I like my 509 mono suit. I really like that because they have all the zippers for venting and everything. So depending on how you dress underneath, you can vent that as much as you want for spring riding or any riding that you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's what I've enjoyed so far, and it's a reasonable price.
Yeah. I think it's kind of funny. I mean, depending on, I guess it depends on the type of riding you do, but it's weird when, especially because I'm experiencing this with the clinics, right? And bringing people that have never fucking ridden before. They're flying up from Texas and they're in the mindset of like, oh, snow, fucking cold. Yeah, I need another one too, Jeff. Can we get a beer run?
Yeah, let's get a beer run.
Hell yeah.
We'll get a beer run here.
Let's go. Appreciate you, Hefe.
Thanks, Hefe.
He's going to send me an invoice for this later.
Michelob could sponsor us, but if not, Coors Light, I'm getting that on my wrap. I would love a sponsorship from you guys, and I only ride responsibly. So that's just, if you guys were wondering. But yeah, Coors Light.
That's important to ask our
Coors
viewers
Light, Budweiser, you name it.
to share our videos and comment and subscribe and whatnot so we can get more people aware of it. So from there.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
it is
It is
hot.
very hot.
It's
And
very hot.
I definitely do have to go on a bathroom run here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we're damn near at an hour mark, aren't we, Jeff?
You guys are fucking balls deep in this episode.
Oh, boy.
No, this is great. We're having fun.
This is a good
I have
one.
an empty bottle.
You can run to the bathroom. I mean, we all have to run right now. It's kind of hard to press pause on a podcast. I think,
so
but-
we're just gonna keep rolling, me and Tyler right now.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do it. So what I was talking about the gear was it's funny that, you know, people, if they're not, you know, used to this kind of thing, they kind of get in the mindset of like, oh, snow, cold, layers.
Oh, no.
Whereas like, dude, I ride with a monosuit, just a shell, uninsulated, and I ride with fucking a pair of shorts and 1.0 base layer.
Yeah.
And then a t-shirt. And that's it.
Yep.
Now I do pack, you know, a zip up, a medium layer.
Because
I pack it in my backpack.
when
just
you
in case.
stop.
When Tom fucking breaks down, we have to stay out there in the middle of the night, and it's getting fucking cold. The blizzard's on its way in. But yeah, like you're putting so much effort into riding, right? Now it's one thing if you're
When
just
you're trail riding.
back in Minnesota and you're just riding down the trail. No, I'm not talking bad about that. That's just not the type of riding that we do.
No.
here.
We're working.
Yeah, 100%. And so, yeah, I don't know where we were going with that, but
Same thing. I mean, I run a climb, just shell jacket.
Yeah.
And it's 3/4 zip.
Better
And
get some new boots this year.
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting new boots. I'm getting new everything. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
But climb jacket is just a shell, and underneath I have this. I don't even know what you call it. Just a cold weather light. It's almost like an Under Armour little jacket.
Don't you wear a Sitka? Or no?
I have
I
sick.
thought I've seen you.
I have worn that before.
Okay.
Just some hunting gear underneath. Just very, very thin shell layer.
Wicks away the sweat.
Yep. But anyways, I just run a shell. A little lightweight. Well, it's technically cold jacket, but it's just very thin.
Yeah.
And t-shirt underneath. Now, if it's really cold, I'll wear Under Armour and then a t-shirt. But seriously, just layering is the biggest thing. Right. And most of the time, I'm shedding layers. I'm hardly ever adding them back on. And obviously, one thing about the snowboarding or skiing pants is the whole wind deal. I had a pair back when I was younger of snowboard pants when I was snowmobiling, and they were not cold.
Right.
Warm. They were not warm, and my legs never get cold now. My feet, hands, oh my God.
Yeah.
They are bricks by the time I'm done working or anything, but my pants, no. And I'm always going to stick to snowmobiling pants and try to stick to snowmobiling gear because they are made for two different things.
Yes, 100%.
One thing is the speed. That's the only time I get cold is on the trail. You know, you're going down the trail 50, 60
on your way
miles
back
an
to
hour.
the truck at the night.
Yep.
After the day.
And that's the only time you start getting cold. But there are many ways to fix that. Most of the time, it's just because we were taking layers off. Don't take the time to put them back on before we head back.
Yes.
See, I can agree with you. On the trail, that's the most cold you're gonna get. But when you're technical riding, you're trying to find out how to stay the coolest you possibly can, and that's what I have a hard time with is trying to like stay cooled down without freezing myself.
Right.
At
Well, and
the
that's
same time.
that's the thing. When you stepped out real quick, I was telling him, right, we just the monosuit with a shell, and I ride with a pair of board shorts that have, you know, I wear a 1.0 thermal base layer and then a t-shirt, and that's it. Now I pack a medium, you know, zip up for the trail back or whatever, and a balaclava and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's so funny because it changes so fast, right? Like you can be going through some stuff where you're working really hard and then you stop and crack open a beer and hang out or whatever. Yeah. And then, or a blizzard can come in or whatever. There's just so many variables.
It matters the condition of the weather too, because
And
I mean,
when it's windy on top and you're on top of a ridge and you stop, you're going to freeze your ass off.
oh yeah,
You're going to freeze.
oh yeah.
You keep your layers on and get to some trees or something, but shit, it's weird. I know a lot of people that are, oh no, I hate the cold, blah blah blah. I'm like, well, you come snowmobiling with us, and it's gonna feel like summertime inside your suit.
100%. So I don't think you do it. Maybe I've seen you do it, but you for sure
What's that?
fucking wearing denim jeans.
Oh,
In your monosuit?
That's what I do. No,
That is,
that's what I do under my pants.
That
That
is
blows my fucking mind.
so get this. That is something I did since I've ever started riding, because my dad does that same
hillbilly
thing.
shit.
It is some backwoods hillbilly motherfucking shit right there. But you know what? I tell you what, that's what I got used to. And then one ride, I got convinced to try sweatpants, and my mind was fucking blown after that day.
Dude.
The things I was capable of doing without pinching, the boys, Let me tell you what, that shit was unfucking real, dude.
100%.
I will never ride with denim jeans again.
Good. I was gonna say, because I'm not gonna.
That's all I
ride with you if you
used
do.
to. That's all I used to, and I was like religious about it. But never again. Don't ever ride with denim jeans, no matter what.
Absolutely.
Okay, because sweatpants or anything that you can move comfortably around is the best you can ride
Well,
in.
and if you get your fucking denim pants wet,
They stay wet.
fucked.
You are fucked.
For all you viewers out there that are just getting into the sport, so what I have is sometimes I'll wear jeans just because I'm too lazy at the truck to take my jeans off, whatever. And I should do it at home, put my sweatpants on. I have a pair of just Nike joggers.
Yeah.
Is that what you call them?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, yeah.
Joggers, sweatpants, you name it, and they're thin. And that is the most comfortable you can be.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And it wicks away sweat.
Yep. Or what Tyler does, just something that's athletic, not your cinch Wrangler blue jeans or whatever. Yeah. And pinching your gonads. Oh,
hillbilly
God.
cowboys.
It's bad.
Fuck that. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, that's not the way to go at all. And see that when I wore my blue jeans, it was always with a leather belt and belt buckle. And
I know,
that's
dude.
just-
I've
that's
seen
just-
you put
that's
your
just-
mono suit
that's
on
just
with all
more
that
weight.
get up.
Well, and you have it's this.
Yeah,
right
that
here.
what you're
This
wearing
is
right now.
exactly what I would wear every time riding sled.
ready to go
ripping.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. How I'm dressed right now is how people see me when I put the mono suit on. They're like, "Oh, Cody's ready to go rip."
Yeah.
But
Well, I think
tell
the
you what,
factor is that you boys are too worried about the fucking after party. And you want to just take the suits off and just then you're ready to go into the fucking the snowmobile trailer and yeah,
Party
ready
in the
to rip.
enclosed, never done that. Jeez Louise.
after the Enterprise trip, the enclosed trailer.
Dude,
Oh,
remember
we got
when we?
some stories about that?
I wasn't
do
drinking,
at
but
least,
we drove home after that at 3 o'clock in the
I
morning.
definitely slept the entire
The entire
home.
way.
The
I'm
entire
just
way
sitting
home,
there
I
driving
slept.
by my fucking self all the
And
way back
I gave
home.
him props for getting me home because I was absolutely slammed.
Yes, you were.
I was, and I appreciate you driving me home.
Totally.
But that's all a part of riding. At the end of the day, when you're getting with all your buddies and having a good time, as long as you can get home safely, is always everybody's most concern. And so I'm glad that you got me home, and I appreciate that.
Oh, totally, dude. And last year was kind of interesting too because of like COVID and everybody was secluded and fucking staying at home and stuff. So last year was like, out riding and being able to be with your buddies and go. Like I think everybody went just that much harder.
Oh, yeah,
because we were so fucking locked up and all that bullshit.
Oh, no,
but-
being locked up and everybody just gets way too excited about everything.
Totally. So, but yeah, oh my gosh, what a long episode. If you guys are still listening at this point, I appreciate you guys holding on. Hopefully we were entertaining enough. I mean, I guess we were if you're still listening. So we'll go ahead and wrap this one up and cap it off for the night and until we come back around for the next episode. Appreciate Cody and Tom, you guys joining and being a part of this. Can't wait to get you guys on to the next one here soon. So yeah, we'll wrap it up. Is there any closing lines you guys want to end out with?
Yeah, guys, honestly, just fuck summer because fuck those bugs.
Tom, you got anything?
Yeah, summertime, definitely not my cup of tea. But no, I had a blast being on here. Thank you. I believe we're going to have quite a few more this season, maybe even summertime one, just talking about our snowmobiling depression.
Yeah.
Just
have some therapy sessions.
That's a deep depression. Right there.
Oh,
That is a
man.
deep depression.
Totally. 100%. Yeah, no, totally. A ton more to come. Yeah, we'll keep ripping these, and then it's going to be great in between, during the weekdays and stuff, in between, Weekend Warrior, ripping out on the weekends and stuff, and going over all the gnarly stories that we're going to get into this season. It's going to be pretty crazy. So yeah, like always, please go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification button, leave the reviews, ask questions. If you got something specific for Tom, if you got something specific for Cody, I will link all of their socials in the descriptions of everything. You guys can reach out to them. or just leave a comment on the video or the podcast, and we'll get them answered. And yeah, definitely, like, if you guys have some ideas as far as what you want us to talk about in future episodes, drop those as well, because we're always looking through those and coming up with ideas and such. So yeah, we'll come to a close on that, and we'll talk to you guys on the next episode.